I'm still here, and this is my third video recording on Wednesday ahead of my writers' conference this weekend. Hi, this is Kelly with Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and today is day 11 of the 25 days of Christmas, and this is the simple card we're going to be making today. I'm trying to keep things simple. I have one more video to do today, and then I'll be good through the weekend, and you guys can enjoy the videos while I'm learning how to be a better writer. So let's start with this. I started with one of the kits I'd worked with before, The Sweetest Christmas, and I wanted to do a very simple geometric card with this, and these patterns really lent to that. So I'm going to fold that up and out of the way, and we're going to go to one because I want to talk about a couple of things to keep in mind when doing this one. I don't want to put that there. I'll never get it off. Okay, so if you'll see, there are diagonals here, and these are not the front and back of the same papers. I don't think. Are they? Yeah, they are. Go figure. Okay, but there's going to be some cutting tips for you to use, so hang on to your hats for this one. I'm going to set it right up there. And we're going to do the basic stuff first, and we're going to start by gluing our white mat. Now this is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base, which means we're doing a 4 by 5 1/4 white mat on here. And why I flipped that over, I don't know. It's white on both sides, right? Go figure. But I'm going to run, I'm on bottle number 3 of my glue in these cards because I've been making 5 of everything. And I'm going to, since that's the mat, I'm going to give it a little extra glue down the center. Now I'm using Garden Green. It is one of the colors with this kit, with this collection, and that's one of the things I like about Stampin' Up! Is they pair the colors for you. You don't have to sit there and try and figure out which color you need. Okay, and then I'm going to come in here with this base. I use the layering ovals for this, and I use the stamp set, since I can get that tape off my finger. I use 2 different stamp sets. I used the Christmas greetings from Greatest Part of Christmas, and then I came back with one I hadn't used yet and used, this is Hollyberry Happiness, and I used May the happiness of family, the joys of friendship, and the warmth of love surround you this season, and that's going on the inside. Now I'm still, let me hit my fingers with some hand sanitizer. I get free bottles from my insurance agents. When I go in to pay my bill, I pick up a couple of bottles. I've got some bigger bottles back here, but I like the small bottle on my desk. So I did a set of these in green and a set in red. And so we're going to go ahead and put this on the green mat, just like that, and see how much of this I cannot wear. While I was working ever so hard this afternoon, Bob baked protein breakfast cookies and breakfast bars for us, and we took a snack break a while ago. Okay, so I have this. I also have this for the inside, and I'm going to come back to that because I want to talk about what to think about for this. Now, I wanted the green in the bottom, so I had to make sure that I was cutting this right because I need the wider point. I need the wider point to be up here. This needs to come up here. So I need to cut from the top right down to the bottom left. And I'm going to start my blade in the center. I've lined my points up with my cutting track on my trimmer. And I'm going to start my blade in the center, go one direction, then come back. That prevents you from getting those little crinkles on your points. Now, we'll see if I did this right. Of which, no, I didn't. This came out right, but this won't be right because this needs to go here, and then this is supposed to go here, but it doesn't. So I've got to grab another one of these. I think that's what I was doing. I was having to cut from 2 different pages. Let me see if I have one here. Then I won't have to go cut. You see, I figured this one out. And this one came out right. So if they were like this, I cut from that top point down, flipped it over and it was right, flipped it over and it was right. So why didn't this one come out right? Because, I'll bet you, nope, it doesn't matter. But if I go that away, I can't go that away either. I don't know what I did on that. And here I thought I was going to give you a really cool tip, and it didn't work. So, there you go. We're going to see if we can figure it out on the next one. Hold my thought, and I'll grab another piece of that paper. I'm looking. I may not have another one of those green. I may not have another one of the green. Let me flip this over. Bits and pieces here. What's on the back of that? Okay. So I need to cut this one. This is the sheet that I need. This one. Okay. Now I started out, it has to be 5 1/4. Is it 5 1/4 this way? Not quite. So I got to go 5 1/4. Okay. And then I want to be sure that this goes up here. So I need to, by 4. Let's start there. Okay. Now I have it the size of the mat needs to be. And I want it, this is what I needed to show you. Pick out where your design needs to be, and see, that's going to be the same. This, I think, needs to be 5. Needs to be 5. See, it's been a long day. I'm getting tired. But what I did was I laid the paper on the mat to see where I needed to start my cut. So I need to go with this one at the top right, line my points up, and that should take care of that. Okay, now we'll see if we got this right. We have our top, we've done our base, we have this, and now everything's going the way they're supposed to. That works. Okay, sometimes you just have to draw yourself a picture. Even if it's just one you just look at. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up and try not to get it all over my fingers. And we're going to go in here with this. And I left just a hair's breadth of that white border on there. It just needed the white and not the green. And then I can come back through with this one. Now I have one more video to record this afternoon. And it's probably going to be a super simple card, just because it is after 5 o'clock. And I'd like to spend a little bit of time with Bob this evening, because I'm going to be pretty much ignoring him for the next 4 days. I am going to take off Tuesday and do nothing but spend time with Bob on Tuesday before I have to start all over. And then I've got that little bump of glue there. Let's see if we can either wipe it off. Nope. Glue is everywhere. Okay, but I think I can hide that for the most part. I can. Now this is another one of those that if I wasn't worried about bulk, I would put it up on dimensionals. But I'm going for mailing this year. And not having to spend extra postage except for the ones that have to go across the pond. And I have several that will get mailed the end of October to make sure they get where they need to be on time. And that is the outside of our card. Now let's go to the inside. And I've stamped my sentiment on my paper. Now remember, I use 32-pound copy paper for the inside of my cards. I don't get the bulk that way that I would if I used white cardstock, but it still has a nice sheen to it. I'll lay that down. Grab my used baby wipe, my dried baby wipe, and wipe that down. And then this was cut 5 by 1 inch to fit in the bottom. Now, if I wanted to spend a little more time, instead of putting paper at the bottom, I could use a stamped image like we did yesterday. But I chose this candy cane from the collection because it has both red and green in it. So I could cut one piece 5 inches wide and then whip out the 6 1-inch pieces that I needed. And there is our card for day 10. We are coming back here tomorrow for day 11. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a SACs Saturday card. We'll have to see. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. Are you working on your Christmas cards? Now's the time. Remember, like, to share, subscribe, and creative Christmas blessings.